Hey guys, welcome to the channel here. My name is Jada. We're going to be doing a tutorial series on Elden Ring. We will be getting you guys the platinum. We'll not be going over every item in the game. There's just a lot. There's a specific item that you're looking for. I recommend going to the wiki for that, but we will be getting you at least the platinum and showing you where a couple build options are. So for this build, we're going to start off with the Vagabond. It starts with a straight sword and a shield. Just a little bit on the classes here. Warrior has 2 swords and a shield. This is more of a kind of a strength build. This is more of a dex build. Hero is going to be full strength, so you could like a big old axe. This is the bandit. Going to be more of your dagger build. Much more dexterity based. Has a little bit of arcane for the bleed. Astrologer is going to be your intelligence with a little bit of dex so that you can be like a spell sword if you want to be. Prophet's going to be more in the faith category, so this is going to be for your like dragon spells, incantations like healing, that kind of stuff. Samurai is pretty much straight up dexterity and be using the katana. Also has a nice bow to start with. Prisoner, this one's going to be much more dex intelligence, so you start with some little starter spells and you get, I think, the S stock. Confessor, this is your kind of faith with a little bit in strength and dex. This is a very nice starting class as well. It starts with a broadsword. And then your wretch is like your start with nothing, but you're level 1, so you get to really choose how you want to do your stats, and you start with a club, and that's it. No armor, no nothing. So for new players, I recommend either the Samurai or the Vagabond. You can also go with like a magic build, like Astrologer, but you're going to be a little bit more squishy. We're going to use the Vagabond just to be a little bit more focused around strength. And I'm going to do type A is male, type B is female. I'm going to do a female because I have already got a couple of characters built here. So we're going to load our favorite. So I've got this one here that I made earlier. And we are going to discard and load favorite. And then you can kind of build your character how you want. And pause the video, make those changes. For name, we're going to name our character Claire, because I've been watching a bit of this anime called Claymore, and I kind of want to build her based on that. And then let's go over the keepsakes a little bit. So we have Crimson Amber Medallion. This is like a talisman that increases your maximum HP. We will get this if you want it. You can buy it from a vendor. The rune, this will give you some runes that you can use to level up. We're going to find lots of runes, no big deal. Golden Seed, this is going to let you increase the amount of healing flasks that you have. Fanged Ashes is a summon. It's actually a pretty decent summon. Crackpot, these are used for crafting. You can make like frost pots, bleed pots, fire pots. We'll find lots of those. Stonesword Key, these are used to open imp statue doors. We're going to find quite a bit of these, and you get 2 if you take this. This is a decent starting item. Bewitching Branch lets you, you get 5 of these. You can use them to like charm an enemy to fight another enemy. They are useful, but we will find some of those. Bro Prawn, we can buy. These are like physical damage negation. I don't recommend taking these as starting. And Jaburi's Woe is, it lets you like attract the enemy's aggression, right? So if you're playing like more summons, you can use this. We can actually find this in the game. You can find all the stuff that's in here in the game. These are used if you're using like summons. You can pull the aggression away from the summon to keep them alive, that kind of stuff. I'm going to use the Golden Seed, but feel free to use whatever you want. I recommend the Golden Seed or the Stonesword Key. Alright, and we are good to start. I actually don't know if the The audio is picking up for the game. Just gonna switch over here to take a look at my audio mixer. Doesn't look like it is. That's okay. You'll have audio on your end. I'm just gonna have the mic audio, and we're gonna actually skip the cutscenes here just so you can watch these and I don't spoil them for anyone. Make our videos a little shorter as well. Feel free to pause if you need to. Alright, so open our menu. Okay, you will see over here we have this equip load where we're heavy. You want to keep this about medium or light load. So we have a halberd, a longsword, a shield, and a pretty heavy set of armor here. I'm going to take off the helmet, which should drop us to medium load. I'm also going to take off the halberd because I'm not going to use it, but feel free to test those out. They have a pretty decent move set. I mean, you get like stab, kind of a round, and then you got like a charged attack, jump light, jump heavy, and then the Ashore is like this charged attack. So I mean, it's not bad. I just don't really particularly want to use it for this playthrough, so I'm going to take it off, and I'm just going to use the longsword. Longsword has standard attack, heavy attack, charged attack, and then its Ashore lets you kind of like post up here, and you can launch stuff up into the air, which is quite fun. Alright, Tarnished Wizard Finger. This is used for online play. We're going to get right into the gameplay, so let's enjoy the view for a second here. The chapel here. And I'm just going to walk off this edge here. And we're going to follow this bridge. So you got a sprint button if you want to use it. You can read these messages here if you'd like. They do have some information that's useful sometimes. So, strong foe, question mark. Anytime you see that golden door, there's probably going to be a fight coming up. So, we're going to switch to two-hand. This fight is optional. You do not have to get this fight. You can just die and it will be okay. It is possible to kill this guy. I'm probably not going to try. At a certain point you will get a cutscene here. Again, I'm going to skip the cutscenes for this playthrough. Just because, one, they don't seem to be producing audio, and two, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Let you guys watch those. You can pause there, watch the cutscene. Alright, so we got the Flask of Crimson Tears and the Flask of Cerulean Tears. So red is going to be health, blue is going to be mana. So we have a bit of a cave of knowledge here. This is the tutorial dungeon down here. So you can do this if you want, or you can proceed up the stairs. We're going to end up coming out right up there and get that item. Also an item back there. So what you want to do here is just going to drop down. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want, but it's a good way to get used to the game. These enemies are super easy. And it's a little tutorial. So Site of Grace is where you're going to refill your HP, FP, heal poison, that kind of stuff, refill your flask, but all enemies that you've killed will come back. Other than bosses, they don't respawn. Alright, so we can lock on. A little whack here. Alright, so I'm going to tell you about guards. So you get your shield out here. You can guard against their attacks. Dodging. So you can roll. Also, you can do a back step if you want, just by pushing the dodge button. Alright, we got jump. Grab some crafting items. Alright, a little bit stronger enemy, so we're going to two-hand. And that archer's shooting us in the back. So this is telling you how to do the two-hand. So you can break the shield guys with the heavy attacks. Some of them anyways. Alright, looks like our desktop audio is maybe working some. Hard to tell. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I may have to tweak it a little bit. So you can change targets. So while you're two-handed, you have this Ash of War. You can hold R2, or L2, and then you have R1 or R2. Two different moves. If you have your shield out, you're gonna parry instead. So you gotta switch if you want to do that. I'll block this archer here. Block him again. Give him a little tap of love. So skills, use your blue bar up top there, and so you kind of want to use those a little sparingly, ideally, but you get a little bit. We can crouch, sneak up on things. And again, you guys don't have to take the helmet off. I just spent a decent amount of time creating my character, and I want to take my helmet off. Just taking the halberd off alone will get you into medium roll. If you want to use the halberd, you might take the shield off and the sword. I'm not sure. I'd have to play around with it, but you just want to make sure you're medium load. Alright, so we got ourselves a little hidey-ho there. Alright, so we got charge attack and a jump attack. So jump attack, that one's pretty good. We're going to just use a charge attack here. Oh, never mind. Alright. Get that stun sound, and then you can kind of walk up and get the crit. Alright, so Stake America here. This is where you'll respawn. You have an option to respawn here instead of back at the Grace if you die. And again, anytime you see this gold here, you are going to fight a boss, probably. Alright, we're going to two-hand our weapon, and we're going to use that Ash of War that we have. So be careful, this guy does hit hard. So one should be enough to stagger him, and then you can just finish him off. So again, we're just using L2 and then R2. Plenty strong enough to finish that guy in record time. Alright, so don't worry about that other item that we had. You can get it. It's nothing really. This one is the one that we saw up on the edge. And that is strength. That is a gesture, which these are gestures over here, so you can confirm to test them out if you want, and you can switch those. We're going to proceed onward. Alright, go up the stairs here, and another side of Grace. I have those stone sword keys I was talking about, so those can be used right here. Anytime you see one of these imp statues, and that'll unlock the door and let you go into that little dungeon there. We're going to find lots of them, no big deal. You can always come back and do this dungeon if you want. Those are more multiplayer items, so we've got This will let you do co-op. This will return you back to your world. Alright, and we are out of the tutorial area. And you see the nice view that you start the game off with here. There's a guy down there riding a horse. We're not going to mess with him right about now. We are going to get this grace. Alright, so that gives you the guidance of grace. So now all your graces will kind of show you this golden path. See how that little golden path points the way. Alright, and on our map, we also get this golden path here. Just kind of telling you which way to go. Alright, we're going to talk to Vare. You want to go ahead and go through all of his dialogue until he starts repeating it. You can read these if you want. Again, I'm skipping dialogue and cutscenes and such just for time. But the story's pretty good, so I recommend going through it. It basically tells you to go to the castle up there in the corner. And once he starts repeating himself, which when you see him say, it's time you set off, that's when you know you're good. If you need to rest, you can rest here at this point. And we're going to go ahead and do that because we did get a flask from the start of the game. So if you took that starting item, you can add a charge, which will increase the amount of flasks that you have. So you go from 4 to 5. If you don't feel like you're going to use the blue ones right now, you can go to 5 here and health and none in the blue. I'm going to go ahead and do that until I need the blue. And I'm going to go ahead and just take the blue off because I'm not using it. Again, we're not going to mess with that guy right there. So what we want to do is just kind of like go this way a little bit. You can certainly fight that guy if you want. He is going to be rather tough at this point in the game. But kind of the first real skill check in the game, in my opinion. You definitely do not have to fight him at all, but you can come back and fight him later when you're a little stronger. As this is a tutorial, I'm going to get this golden rune here. So these rune items basically give you currency. So we have 606 in the bottom at the moment. Okay, and so you can sort this by your recent items so you can see all the stuff that you've gotten. You can see we got a bunch of tutorial stuff, our inventory, whatnot, but we have these golden runes. So we have 2 of these. These give you 400 runes apiece. I like to hang on to those until I need them. Get this grace here. Alright, so we've got fast travel now. So now you can fast travel between these sites of grace. I'm going to go ahead and get this item here. This is a little blacksmithing table, so you can upgrade your weapon if you want. I'm going to wait a little bit, but you can definitely do that if you want. I want to spend my runes here at this merchant that looks like Santa Claus. And it does cost runes to use the blacksmith. This is Kale. And you can go through his dialogue if you want. I'm going to just purchase a couple things here I want to go over. Throwing darts are good for birds. Finger remedies, you can actually craft these, but if you wanted to buy some, you can. Let you summon some friends into the game. Crack pots, again, those are crafting. We're going to buy this crafting kit. This will let us craft. And if you want to, you can go ahead and buy the torch. I'm not going to buy the torch because I like to wait and just get the lantern instead of spending my money. But this will let you have some light in those dungeons. And then you can change your mid-view. You can see what these cookbooks do. So you got bone arrows. You got some cured meat. These are the holy pots, so you can use these to make holy pots. And And of course you got arrows and then some chain armor if you want, and this is the starting shield for I think the bandit. Chain leggings. It's an alright armor set. Not as good as ours, but you could definitely buy that if you want it. I'm just going to buy the crafting kit and that's it. Eventually we'll come back and get these pots, but for now I'm just going to save our runes. Alright, so now we can craft. Tells you a little bit about crafting. So in the menu here, first off, merchant, therefore praise. So item crafting. So we have a couple things to start off with that we can craft. So you can make fire pots, roped fire pots, which are just a little bit faster versions. They don't do as much damage. Bone darts, those raisins that we can make will let you basically restore your health on your horse when you get one. Rainbow stones, you can use these to show hidden areas or to mark your way as you go. And then again, the co-op item. So you get some more crafting, you have a ton of crafting stuff in here. But for now, we're just going to make our way to this side here. And we're going to just head up. Again, the castle's there. And so what we want to do is we want to come up here. We're going to end up here. But we're going to kind of avoid that area. We're going to go somewhere like kind of right about here. So we're going to just make our way up this road. Just kill some stuff along the way if you want. And these enemies are not really a serious threat, but you can sneak up on them if you want. And you see they're dropping like 60 runes or so. You can pick up this stuff on the ground if you want. This is like more crafting material. You can, like I said, sneak up on the enemies. Get the backstab if you want. These guys are farmable. You can get their weapon, their armor. They have a shield, and you can get the shield. You cannot get the torch from them. But you can get pretty much everything else with the sword that he has. Or his full armor set if you kill enough of them. They will drop it. And you'll notice our map, there's our map markers. So we're just kind of heading around here. There's a cave over here. We're not going to go in this cave right now, but... So there's your leggings. So if you wanted to swap out your gear here, let's see what they look like. So this is actually better than what we have on. It's actually less weight. No, more weight, but slightly better defense. So I'm going to go ahead and switch these. But you can keep on the other ones if you didn't get that drop. Not a big deal. It's not a huge difference. But you can farm these enemies for all their stuff. And as I was saying, see that first marker? That's going to be the map item. And there's a whole bunch of enemies in this camp. The second marker that we have, it's over here. See that grace right there? That's where we're actually heading. We're just going to kind of sneak around. We don't want to do the whole camp right now. We want to come from this angle. Make sure that we don't have any problems, right? So we're going to come up here, hit this grace. Once you get about there, you're probably safe. And we're going to go ahead and rest. We're going to get another dialogue. So if you watch the early dialogue, this is Millennia. She showed up in the beginning.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Melina. She comes in on a horse. She's our friend. We're going to go through this dialogue. Like I said, I'm going to skip the dialogue, but you guys can watch it. Please do. The story is really good. She tells you she'll be your maiden. And she's actually going to let you level up now. So now you can level up if you want. Want to accept to take her with you.
Then it's settled. Sahar, I bequeath to you.
Well, then she's going to give you the horse whistle that'll let you get your horse,
Use it. It will summon a
which is the horse that she was riding at the beginning.
named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and leave. Otherwise she'll disappear. It's going to tell you how to summon. What I like to do is, I like to use the pouch for this. So come over here. I'm going to remove this Memory of Grace because I don't use it. And then, so on the down button, I'm going to switch this to be the Spectral Seed. And so now, if I hit Y and then down, I'll summon the horse. We can jump, double jump, and we can kind of crouch to get off. Alright, so we got the horse. We're going to come down here now and we're going to do some of this camp. So that guy down there that's walking, that's the real threat because he has a horn. He will alert the entire camp if you're seen. So you want to make sure you're not seen. So we're going to wait until he kind of turns around. And then we're going to, while in crouch, we're going to sprint. Get up here and backstab him. That way he doesn't tell everyone we're coming. Alright, once that guy turns around, touch the corpse, and we got another piece of the Godric armor. And then this is your map marker. Well, now when we open our map, let's get over here and hide a little bit. Now you'll see we have some revealed areas, so I'm going to take these markers off. So we got some revealed areas, show a little bit more of the topography of the map. You'll see some new icons, so these are caves. So we came from this church and we kind of walked up this path. There's actually a cave right here. And we've got this ruins, and then we came to Gatefront, right? So there's a couple of ruins that you can see, some caves. You can explore all the map by getting those pieces. So anytime you see those on the map, those are map pieces. Alright, so we're going to come back this way some now. And we're just going to jump up on this cart, and there's a chest here. And we can get this item, which is a Lordsworn Greatsword. It's a pretty decent Greatsword. We do not quite have the stats to use it, so we need 16 strength, but you can two-hand this weapon. And if you do, so 136 plus 25 versus 110 plus 22, so slightly stronger than what we're currently using, right? So if you two-hand it, now it has that little X in the bottom. When you two-hand it, that X went away because we have no stats. And then we have this decent moveset. Alright, so you could use that if you want. Got a bit more range if you want a great sword. I'm just going to try to demo the weapons as I get them. I'm not necessarily going to use them all. Alright, so we killed this first two guys. We're going to go this side now. Kind of go right up in here. There's a guy. Backstab this one, and he's got a friend who's going to show up. So we're going to immediately get into our standoff. And take him out as well. Those guys have a gold shield, which is a really decent shield. Our shield is also pretty solid. It's this rune fragment. You can farm these guys for their gear. We did get the gauntlets, by the way, so if you wanted to use those, the gauntlets are a little worse, in my opinion. I like the vagabond ones better, so I'm kind of mixing the set together. But, again, use whatever armor you have available. You're going to sneak over here, there's another guy. If you're over here at night, there will also be some bats. Again, nighttime typically is a little bit harder. See, there's the bats. So we don't really want to deal with those bats because they're a little tough. You can, for sure, kill them. I mean, they're not the end of the world. But yeah, they're a little rough. So what we want to do now is we're going to sneak up and kill this guy. Ideally when that guy's walking away, and then we're going to kind of quickly make our way over here, and there's another guy. So we're just kind of strategically sneaking around and killing everything. Lock on. And sneak up and get the backstab if you're lucky enough, or you can just, kill that guy. This one's gonna come out to play. Alright, there's one over there too. We're gonna sneak around and get him. Those guys also drop their spear and their bigger shield. Open this chest here and get the flail. I don't particularly like the flails. You cannot, like, backstab. They do require 18 dex, so I can't really truly show off this weapon. If strength, you can two-hand to sometimes get some extra stats, but the flail's okay. It's got this like spinning attack. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the flails. Get our sword back out. Alright, so these guys are a bit rougher. I would recommend trying to pull them one by one if you can. There's a whole bunch of dogs over there as well. If you had some darts, this would be a good time to use them. I've got a couple kukris, so we're going to pull those out. And try to draw that guy. We end up getting the other guy too. We just want to draw him kind of back as far as we can so we don't have to fight a bunch of enemies at once, right? Best bet. Block. Don't hold the block, just kind of use it sparingly. These guys can block or get you with the stagger. You can also just kind of roll. I personally feel it's much better to just use the standoff, but sometimes you miss. And a good example here, if you die, what happens? At 1266, they're now on the ground. If you die again, you lose that. So you want to try and be careful. We're going to go to the last site of grace because it's a little easier. And I'm fine demoing that. So what we're going to do here is you'll see that little gold marker there on the map. That is our rune. So we're just going to kind of get on our horse and just bypass all this stuff and go get our runes. We don't have a lot. It's not a big deal if you lose them. Okay. Again, you could farm these guys for like ever, basically, if you wanted to. And get some levels and stuff, and probably a good thing to get some experience. With how to kind of handle some of these enemies. Learn to circle around them, get the backstabs, that kind of thing. So this is where we were at. It's our marker. So what I'm going to actually do is there's not a lot of other items in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get on my horse. And I'm just going to kind of go right where these dogs are at. And then I'm going to get off the horse and go down here. At the bottom there's a door. And the door, we have a treasure chest. I'll open that up. And I'm going to get the wet knife, which allows you to change the Ash of War. So stones, we grabbed Storm Stomp, which is this. One of the skills to channel the Tempest of Stormveil. Stomp hard on the ground to kick up a momentary storm, and this is the knife that we got that lets us change that. So basically any of our basic weapons, like the weapon that we're currently using, can have that the stomp on it, but you'll notice that this one says usable on all. Some of them will have specific weapons they can use. Alright, so there's no enemies down here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast travel back to the church. You'll notice a new NPC has appeared. So you can go ahead and run through her dialogue. Again, I'm skipping through it quickly. This is Ronnie. Tell her you can call the spectral seed. And she'll give you the spirit calling bell, which lets you summon, and then some ashes, which is the lone wolf ashes. First summon, if you didn't choose the starting summon. And you can summon them anytime you see the little graveyard symbol. I'll show you that. And talk to her again. And she'll disappear. Alright, so now we've got some runes you could level up if you want to. And because this is targeted more at new players, you might want to. What I would recommend on your stats, if you rest here, you could go to level up. I would start increasing your stat for your weapon if you need some. So if you wanted to use the flail, you need to get some stats for that. So let's just take a look at that. So for instance, if you want to use this, you need 16 strength. We currently have 14. If you want to use this, you need 18 dex. We currently have 13. I'm using this so I don't need to put any stats in those. So what I would say if you're going to stick with this weapon is to just put the points into Vigor. Vigor, you want to try to get this up to 20 kind of as quickly as you can. So I'm going to just put a point into Vigor. It's going to give us some more health. And then we've got like 500 left, so if you notice here we need 829, so we need like about 300, so you could use, if you go over here to this first tab, there's a golden rune. You could use this golden rune to get a little bit more here, or you could just go back to the gate front and level a little bit. I'm just going to use the golden rune, and I'm going to put one more level into our Vigor. Okay. Alright, so I am going to teleport back to the gate front, and you can spend as much time here as you want between now and our next episode, fighting everything. We've got all the items in this area, but again, you can farm for any of their gear, and that shields that they have and the spear are both pretty decent. The big shields are solid, the gold shields are pretty good. Those guys over there can also have pickaxes as well, which is a strength-based weapon. So if you want a couple options. But for now, I'm going to call it here, and thanks for tuning in. Make sure you follow, subscribe, leave us some comments on the YouTube if you're enjoying the series, and we will continue to pick it up right here next time. We'll see you.